Welcome everyone to Thursday Yin. It's a blessing to be here. We're going to have a very strong special class today, working again with that connective tissue, those ligaments, those tendons, and doing it in a slow but strong way. So it's a mystical but methodical way. So we're going to bring into the mantra through the Brahmari to really emphasize all this beautiful internal energy that we experience. Remember, with Yin, there's three parts to it, right? First, we get comfortable. We spend a full minute getting comfortable. Then, we find that comfortable edge. What is that? That's with the breath. That's when you reach that point where you can't go any further. And then you know when you've reached the state of Yin, when you're able to relax there. And then from that state, the meditation will come to you and time will go by. As we've said before, remember, when we're having a spiritual experience, the first thing that goes out the window is time, right? Time is how you know you're having an authentic, real spiritual experience. So let us begin today. We're going to start on the ground, relaxing our backs, right? Some of us have gone to work today. Others, like me, are studying for exams, right? So lots of sitting in a sedimentary way. And now we're just going to relax our backs, lie down on the ground, right? And just let everything relax with the soles of the feet on the ground. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And we're going to do 10 deep breaths. In through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Push. Try and hollow out your abdomen as you push belly down. Inhale back up. Right? Feel the three parts of the breath from the abdomen through the diaphragm, chest, and then exhale. Let it go. Let it flow. Push a little bit more, and you'll flatten out your spine. This is our warm-up today. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Last three. Two. And one. Deepest breath in. All three parts of the breath. Inhaling through the sinus passage, chest expands, abdomen expands, holding the breath for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Start to move your tailbone forward and back. 5, 4, 3, 2. And on the exhale, push up with your hips. Inhale, bring your arms underneath you. Clasp all 10 fingers together, right? Or you can just have your hands flat on the floor. Either way, this is known as bridge, right? So we are doing our beautiful bridge pose. And as we do this beautiful pose, remember, we don't want the hips to drop. We want them to push up. So I always say it's like being a gunslinger, right? You want to be able to point that tailbone in the direction it wants to go. Forward and up, right? And that's the feeling. The hands are here to support you, right? And they should be able just to graze your heels. That's usually the general rule of thumb, just like we do with our downward facing dog when we line it all up. Same here. If you're able to graze your feet, touch them lightly, that's the right spot. Right from here, clasping all 10 fingers, walk those shoulder blades underneath nice and tight. Lift your hips up high, and let's start to breathe. Good. For those who came to yin today, those who came to core today, remembering you can bring your knees in slightly, and that just makes it so much harder, right? So getting that feeling of that internal core that we worked on today in class, if you feel like it, just draw your knees slightly in, makes the pose a lot harder. Good. As we start to focus on that center line more and more, hips are lifting up, knees might be coming slightly in, and then the breath just allows us to find that comfortable edge and relax. If this is too much, remember you can always take a bolster, a block, or you can just stop, right? You can come a little lower and do the yin from here, right? But remember, we're here to give in, not give up, right? That's giving in. Giving up is going, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard. Oh, I'm going to try again. Oh, I got to come back down. No. The yin is how to endure, right? With gratitude. Take that beautiful inventory, right? That's the goal here. So get into a comfortable way and let's keep breathing. Let's keep going. We're doing fantastic. This posture is going to make everything we do today so much better. And that's why we're doing it right at the beginning. I know it's hard at first. This may be your first yoga of today. Well, that's a good thing. Push that tailbone up. A wonderful posture you can do. Breathing, feeling, connecting with your body, connecting with your heart, connecting with your soul, internal, external, breathing everything in, and then letting it go. Each breath rejuvenating you, strengthening you, and committing to your core. Remember, your core is everything that supports your spine. Right now, we're activating the hips, nice and strong. We're activating the base of the spine, the first chakra, the second chakra, and the third chakra. As we start to liberate all that's in our way, holding us back, right? We're pushing forward, pushing through, feeling it from toes to nose, from the thighs, the back of the glutes. Everything is in a place of balance. Remember, like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? Not too much, not too little, just right. And what's just right? That's that comfortable edge you can ride with your breath. Good, you're doing fantastic. Minute to go. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release those hands. Let your body just float down to the ground. Start to move or not. I always like to just give myself a few seconds just to let the natural alignment unfold. And then when I feel it's settled, I feel it's grounded, I want to keep that strong sensation flowing through the tailbone by slowly, slowly dropping the knees, right? Again, no reason to go to the floor, right? Just go slowly, slowly, one knee at a time, and start working out all that complexity in the hips. They call the hips the junk drawers for a reason. A lot of our latent emotions, a lot of our sort of unconscious processing, right, emotionally gets buried down into the hips, right? And that makes sense. It's like this is the tip of the iceberg. This is where we are more conscious and aware of what's going on, but down below it gets a little bit mysterious. So spending the time to work it through the practice, and this is what we call liberation. Working it through the practice is liberation. Beautiful. Nice minute in between. That was great to rest, restore. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze, right? And now head lifts. We're going to get into a happy baby. right? So from our bridge pose, going into happy baby is going to feel really good. That tailbone is going to press down in toward the ground. We're going to start in stirrup, right? And as we start in stirrup, just bringing the heels towards your hips, let your knees open up and relax. Relax your head, right? Relax your shoulders. And remembering, for those who have bolsters, again, this is one of those positions that feels really good. If there's any neck injuries, to put a bolster behind you, or maybe you get tense neck from this posture, being here in happy baby. One of the ways you can prevent that is just by filling that space and making it a little easier on yourself. Okay? So that's wonderful. I like to take it all the way on the floor. So from our stirrup, now that we're getting comfortable, let's start to breathe. All the way in, and nice and long and peacefully out. If you can get that exhale twice as long as your inhale, you are starting to stimulate your parasympathetic system. That's what helps rest and digest the flight and fight response, right? They can't both be on at the very same time, right? So we want to shift the locus of control from one to the other. Good, slowly, slowly, start with one leg and feel how by pulling down, notice my arm doesn't bend, right? I'm using my shoulder to pull that hip down into the ground. And again, noticing how we're taking this posture. We're not even in the full happy baby yet. Remember I said about a minute to get comfortable. These are all different ways to get comfortable, right? Sometimes the micro movement is big, sometimes the micro movement is small, sometimes the micro movement is literally asymmetrical, like we're doing now, one side at a time. And again, those who attended core today know why we're doing this, right? You can feel it, right? You work these areas out today, and now you're getting the chance to stretch them, which is fantastic. Good, switching it up. Remember, if you miss core, I always post them online. I try my very, very best, free of technical glitches and issues. I try to post all the raw footage from class, right, from teaching, onto the Petroyama YouTube that you guys can check out, or continue your practice throughout the week if you're really, really getting into it, right? Remember, yoga is a daily practice. It lasts 24 hours. Good, fantastic. From here, full happy baby now, right? Find your happy baby. For some, the full happy baby may be legs straight, right? But that's up to you. Remember, tilt that tailbone. Look at the difference, right? I could be doing happy baby like this with my butt up in the air, or I could be rolling it down, and look at the difference. It just lines everything else up. Oh, right? Feel. As you allow everything to relax. And now ultimately here, close your eyes, go inside, and see if you can get to that state of yin. See if you can be. And the being comes from the human, right? Human being. We want to get to our being. We'll leave the human sort of before and after the practice, right? We're going to integrate the being human. We're going to emphasize the being human. And how we do that is by being in the struggle, being here together in the practice, right? So feel your happy baby. Bring those knees down, lengthen that spine. We call it elongation. And just feel yourself being your own natural chiropractor, right? It's such a beautiful thing. Remember, as you continue to breathe, your parasympathetic nervous system increases, and the ability to rest and digest starts to get stimulated, right? We are inducing relaxation. That's the hope. That's the work. That's the practice. Good. One more minute here. Breathing and feeling, breathing and feeling. Whether your breath is deep, long, and peaceful, or it's naturally short and sweet. Either way, right? Enjoying the sweetness, the sukha of the posture. That's the joy of practice, right? Just like music. We don't do music, we play music, right? We perform music. And it's just like yoga. We don't do yoga, right? We play yoga. We are yoga, right? It's something that is innate. It's within. And it's something that surrounds us. We are within the yoga, in and within, which is beautiful. Good. 10, everyone. 9, enduring, nice and strong. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and before we finish, we're going to do one Brahmari to clear, to fully succumb, to fully surrender. Deep breath in. Good. Slowly coming back into stirrup. Just let your hips open up little by little, nice and slow. Again, same thing with the knees, but this time externally, one at a time. One at a time. Right, just let them flow, let them go, let them fall to the side. Little by little, bring one up, one down. Right? And again, this is a great way to start to practice how to get into full lotus, right? If you can bring the heels up and the knees down, that's what is necessary to do that pose, right? And you can feel it all in your lower back. That's great. Fantastic. Good. Soles of the feet to the floor. Windshield wipers the knees side to side. We're going to do a little 1 minute transition into twist. It'll just feel super nice right now to sort of culminate this part of our practice. So now, taking the knees to the left side, right? That's the L. Taking them to the left side. We've discussed it before. You can also cross the knee and take it to the left side if you want to go a little deeper. But just like this, nice and relaxed today. Just a minute here, breathing deeply through your twist, your variation. The knees are stacked, right? You can place a hand to help you. If you have the legs crossed, you don't have to hold because the leg holds itself, right? And of course, if you're crossing to the left, it's the right over left, and that's what does the move. So again, breathing here, feeling here, relaxing into your twist as we send that energy up towards our heart centers. And when you get to those strong sensations, that's when you know you're riding the comfortable edge. It's funny how comfortable edge and strong sensations go together, but that's what makes us strong. That's what creates the permanent flexibility. That's what creates the lasting change. Good, fantastic. Nice and slowly, transitioning over to the other side. Whatever you did on the one side, do on the other. So again, stacking the knees, right? Coming all the way over, finding your twist, right? If that's not enough, right? Just take left over right, give it a little cross, send it over, and then look over the opposite side. Again, breathing here, feeling here, connecting. From the hips all the way through the heart. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming over onto the right side. Lift yourself up with helping hands. Hiya. Good, and let's come into a comfortable cobbler-like position. And once we're in cobbler, right, soles of the feet are together, we're gonna make circles. You're gonna feel it now. Oh, especially after that twist. Oh, working it through. Fully working it through, round and round, round and round. And as you work it through round and round, that's the best part, right? That's the joy of the practice. Working it round and feeling all those little strong sensations. And just like sand that's stuck sort of in a chair, right? We got to get that out. So the best way is just little tiny movements to just kind of, if you take sand, right, and it's on the, seat of your car chair, right? You don't pick them one by one. You give it a sweep, right? That's the micro movement, right? It's not that you're going to get all of it, but if you do it every day and you keep sweeping it, eventually, it's all going to go because that's your intention. That's the directionality. Good, everyone. Let's go in the opposite direction now. Circles, opposite way. Right, and as you make those circles in the opposite way, remember, your diamond doesn't have to be narrow. It can be nice and big and open, right? So it doesn't have to be this close. Actually, in reality, it doesn't feel better like this. It actually feels really good opening it up a bit, right? So remember, that's always available to us. Different ranges of motion and movement. And we become that guru, that teacher to ourselves when we give ourselves that permission. Despite, maybe what is being said in class, that you give that permission to yourself to modify. That's what's important, right? It's all about the teaching, right? There's very little to do with me, the teacher. It has to do with the teaching. We all follow the teachings. We're all students of the teachings. Beautiful, fantastic. Let's come into our cobbler pose. And again, we're always working on cobbler in creative ways. Again, this posture, very powerful posture. But like forward fold, as we explore that in the core, here we like to explore our cobbler over time and classes. So bringing the soles of the feet together and the hands out in front, what we're gonna do from here is feel that bend in the elbows. You see, feel the bend in the elbows. And then once the elbows can touch the ground, go a little bit more forward. And then feel that bend. Now, I keep my eyes on you guys. For those who have their screens on, I'm always on watch out. Plus, it's also just a teaching habit of mine to keep my head up. It's like a swimmer, right? I got to keep my head up. Or like a hockey player. I got to keep my eyes on the puck kind of feeling, right? Not on the stick, right? So you and me having this exchange, right? But if it was me in class, I would be head down, fully relaxed, fully surrendered. And each minute in the yin would bring me deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's the goal for each of you. And so as you bring that slight micro movement, right, through the elbows, get them down to the ground, right? You're at your comfortable edge when you kind of can't anymore. And you're like, whoa. And then you might just stop micro moving, and then you might just hang out at this newfound depth. And that's the whole part of this practice, right? This practice is moving toward yin, right? I'm not assuming that everyone knows yin. I'm not even assuming that everyone's doing yin, right? Yin was one of the worst practices when I started yoga. It's one of my favorite practices now that I've been doing yoga, for 13 plus years. The joy of the yin is that now you get to work on like the most subtle level of the asana because you're not rushing, right? There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do, right? But be in the posture. And when you love yoga as much as some of us do, right? That love becomes self-love, right? And there's a magic that happens in this moment. And we can call that yin. That's where we go into that place of complete relaxation. And yet, We're deep in the posture. We were experiencing strong sensations. But over time, those strong sensations start to disappear. And so we have to go further in order to recapture them, in order to still give us that edge, that challenge, so that we can go deeper, so that we can take the pain that's within us and push it out. Through the hips, through the knees, through the soles of the feet, through the palms, through the shoulders. Right? This is a unique way of viewing health and wellness. Yoga is radical, but what makes it so radical is it's been around, recorded for over 5,000 years, which is super amazing. And so this is one of the oldest forms of healing, stretching. One of the oldest forms of healing, music, mantra, right? Intention. You are doing it right now, as it was, as it is, and as it will be, even 5,000 years from now. The joy is the practice, and that practice helps us to evolve as people. Good. When you're ready, nice, strong Brahmari, deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly, gently, with helping hands, start to come up. Nice and easy. And this time, we're not going to put the hands down, right? Keep them here, keep them up, and let's start to bring our elbows side to side. Side to side. Let your neck relax, your shoulders relax. Again, if you notice, we're twisting, right? We're twisting. Twisting, right? Feeling that twist. Twist, twist, twist. Oh, so good. Okay. Change your levels with your elbows. You can look, right? You can keep your head straight, right? There's so many ways to massage the spine, to counterpose. Let's bring our elbows in a little bit more like running, right? As if we were running. So more vertical. Lift up, right? It's almost like you're gonna throw yourself into a jump, right? Right? Have you ever seen me side flip? This is exactly what we do to load, right? We're taking the frame, we're rocking it, and then all of a sudden, and then you flip, right? You whoosh, right? So that's the feeling right now, nice and loose. Good, fantastic. Good, legs out. You know where we're going next. We've been working on this posture, working on the complexity of the pelvic floor. This is known as dragonfly. And again, it's one of those postures that I go backward in order to open up my legs more. And then I bring myself forward. So I go backward, take the pressure off, and then I kind of work it forward. Now remember, as you're working it forward, legs straight. That's the important part, legs straight. And unfortunately, just on the edges, right, of the screen, you can see my toes, right? I have my toes curled. I want to push my knees down. I want to push those knees down as my chest starts to drop down, right? One arm at a time. Straight, 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 straight. Feel, 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 feel. Good. Again, we're still in the first minute of the posture, so we're just getting comfortable. Again, hands out in front, same philosophy. Slowly, slowly. Start with the long, straight frame, which we're doing with our arms, right? Now the toes are no longer curled. I'm just relaxing. You can see the difference in the knees, right? They're fired up, they're not, right? So we want to relax them. Tailbone on the ground, arms out in front. Start at a slow, strong, persistent pace. It's easy, right? So I walk a little bit more forward. Right, down. Okay, that's easy. So I go a little further. I'm looking for that comfortable edge. Oh, it's coming now. How do I know? Ooh, it's hard to go forward. And plus, I'm forgetting to breathe, or It's difficult to breathe, right? There's lots of things the breath will tell you once you're there. Right? My hand is just showing you the feeling within my body, constantly moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. Imagine if it was adversity. Imagine if it was a challenge. By doing this internally, by breathing deeply, all the way in and exhaling all the way out, right? What happens? Well, that edge is no longer your comfortable edge, so you got to keep going. Find a new edge, make it your comfortable edge, and then find a new edge, make it your comfortable edge until you can't go any further, right? That's the whole point. Eventually, the heart is going to slowly, slowly melt its way down, down, down towards the floor. But in order to do that, getting an active involvement with those elbows, relaxing the head, walking hands forward, right? It doesn't take long to make that all possible, to send all that energy through. Again, we've done bridge, right? We've done happy baby. We've done cobbler. And now we're doing dragonfly. You're really feeling it, right? That's the joy, right? Deep, 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 right? Nose to toes, crown of head to tailbone. All that connective tissue, all those ligaments, all those tendons. Good. Final minute in the posture. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Start to prepare for your Brahmari. 4, 3, 2, and here we go. Nice strong Brahmari. Deep breath in. Slowly, gently coming up. Nice and slowly. Oh, you're gonna feel it. Permanent, lasting change. Side to side. Side to side. Right, feel, feel, feel. Oh. Right, it's good to hold the pose even longer, right? We're still actually technically holding the dragonfly. We're just slightly modifying, going side to side now, bringing some micro movement, because again, this movement is medicine for your body. And the goal of the yin is to bring us to stillness. And that stillness is medicine for your mind. That's why they say in the Yoga Sutras, you know, that the oscillations of mind, thinking, feeling, must cease. And the yogi must persist. No dying, right? Homeostasis. No thought of one's own, right? The only way that a layman or a conventional person can understand this is it's like deep sleep. The only difference is that you're somehow, some way, some form, right? Not sleeping, right? There is what we call a super state where you're just in between the conscious and the unconscious. And that's the space of the yin. That's where the healing happens. That's where the magic happens, the miracle. Good. Beautiful work. Everyone should feel a lot better now. Soles of the feet back together, in towards your cobbler, circles. Again, feel. Look at that tight feeling down into the tailbone, right? Oh, right, let it go. Let it flow. Good, other direction. Fantastic. Soles of the feet to the floor, knees windshield wiper left and right. Remember, forward fold. You can even touch forehead to knee. Backward bend, right? Forward fold, backward bend. Forward fold, backward bend. And then, slowly, slowly, crawl your hips towards your heels. For some people, you like coming through to squat this way. For others, you don't. So for others, you're going to want to flip around, come into a tabletop position, and come into it this way. It really doesn't matter, as you can see. It's the same thing, right? Some people like to come from the back, other people like to come from the front, but the whole point is, let's find where our squat is. I'm just going to slightly change the angle of the screen so you can see a little bit more. Fantastic, good. Da-da-da. Right, and you notice one at a time, I'm getting comfortable, one at a time, one heel on the ground at a time. Of course, you guys know with me, squat is no problem, right? But there are some problems, right? And I'm working through them. This is not perfect. The whole point is to perfect, right? It's to feel good every day, because we do feel good every day. But there's something that gets in our way. Cortisol, stress, right? Temptation, right? Desire, pleasure, not pleasure, right? There's so many things that get in the way. Emotional, cognitive. One rogue thought can separate you from your yin, from your samadhi, from your peace, right? So it's the same with the physical body, right? There's maybe just one little thing going wrong, and that's what this little warm-up in each posture, that first minute of getting comfortable, can really help with. It can shift the experience of this time together in the yin to be pleasurable, enjoyable, right? Joyful is actually the right word. Joyful is the right word, or its opposite, right? Pain. And that's how I experienced it in the beginning. It was just sheer pain, right? To be put into something and told to stay, right? Good. For you guys, remember, now that you're settling in, you always have access to put your heels on a bolster, or, right, if you're down and you just got to get that feeling, right, bounce a little bit. But if you have the feeling, take your elbows, right, open it up, and then relax your head down. Full surrender. And just shift the weight forward and back, and literally rock yourself into deep sleep, right? That is where we're going. That's the meditation, where there is no you or I anymore. There's just the consciousness of you and I, right? And that's the beauty of practicing together, that even though we're apart, yoga literally means to yoke, right? Union. It's also within and around. But in order to experience it, we have to liberate and realize. Right? Liberation is dealing with all the separation, the pain, the displeasure, the time, the space. And then the realization is realizing that all of this separation is actually in non-separation. So imagine all of this exists in the air, right? It exists in air. Want to get more refined? It exists in space. Want to get more refined? It's light, right? You want to get more refined? It's hydrogen and helium. This is the joy of what we're practicing, from an elemental level of energy all the way out to the human form, and yet we're still persisting to explore our being. And we've been doing this for thousands of years. So it's wonderful to be a part of it, whether this is your first class, your 100th class, or your 10,000th class, right? There's no greater joy than realizing all that you've liberated. Past behind you, present within, and the future before. Good. Final minute in the posture. Doing great, guys. See if with that breath you can get to a place of pure stillness, fierce as a seed, strong in your conviction. Being able to endure with gratitude. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 Brahmari to clear. Deep breath in. Fantastic. From here, slowly coming forward if that's what feels better, or behind. But we're going to end up just in a slight tabletop position. You're going to have 2 choices. Dropping down into puppy dog, right? Relax down on the floor. Or take your legs, shoot up, downward facing dog. So from the side, right? We're here in our down dog, stretch, stretch, stretch. Or we're in our child's pose, right? Stretch, stretch, stretch. Whichever you prefer. Of course, you can go in and out of both, right? Play a little with one, play a little with the other, right? This is your minute to release that squat. Bending the knees, pushing back, tailbone forward, right? Tailbone back, tailbone forward. Working it through the hamstrings, through the arms. Oh, feel. Fantastic. Wherever we were in, let's make our way into a toe squat really quick. And so we're on our toes, as you can see underneath, right? Knees can be together or apart. And again, bringing that bounce, right, to our toes, to our toes, to our toes. All right, so that should feel really good. For some, it's might not feel like anything. What you could do to make it feel more is play piano with your toes. Play piano with your toes. And you know you get really good at it when you can really push your toes in. You get this feedback of like, ah. It's like stepping on coals, right? But that's the press, right? You want to press into it. Because remember, if we don't use it, we lose it. Right? So that's the joy of doing your toe squat. Little bouncing helps. Shift the weight, right? Piano toes really helps you to get all into those feet. Remember, the feet reflect the whole body. Good, beautiful. From here, uncurl them. And now we're going to do a quick ankle stretch to prepare us for our next posture. These 2 things go together to help us along our way. So start to come back now with the arms and start to ankle stretch, right? Ankle stretch is lifting the knees. Remember, you're not on your toes anymore. Your feet are flat, right? ankle stretch, ankle stretch. Oh, right? And again, notice arms straight, bent. That's what brings me back. Whoa, right? If I let go of the arms completely, I'm going to go all the way back. I need my core, right? That's why we do the 12 o'clock core class, right? So eventually it's just curl, curl, right? Because as I curl, what's happening? I'm massaging through that ankle. Stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Good. Slightly come up into toe once again, into the toe stretch. I'm going to show this move from the side. We have not done this move in a long time, but it's a goodie, and we've been working from the beginning of class to the end of class just to get here. Known as camel. Does anyone remember that one? Some of you are like, oh no. Some of you are like, oh, it sounds great. It is. It's fantastic. Great posture. But it is a difficult posture, so we're going to start slow. If you have pillows or blankets, everyone, even me, is going to do this posture today, because we haven't done it in a long time, with a bolster, something underneath the knees. Okay, so it looks like this. Unfortunately, with the wide screen, I'm going to have to back up a little bit more so you get me all in the frame. But even still, then it's going to be difficult. That's okay. So once you're on your knees onto your bolster or on your blanket, your knees feel nice and safe, you're ready for the posture, right? Some people like to do it with toes curled, others with uncurled toes. I would suggest start with toes curled, and if it's uncomfortable, just go to toes out. You decide. From here, once it's locked in, you're going to reach back. Reach back, one at a time. Reach. Reach. 10. Right? Reaching from side to side. 9. Oh. 8. Look. Look. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good. From here, relax. Sit back down. Maybe do a down dog. Stretch it out. Get it out of your system, right? We're going to hold that position, which is going to be challenging. Let it relax. Let it flow. Let it go. Find the right feet for you. Push hips forward. Push hips forward. I get the camera a little higher so you can see. Good. Okay, so push hips forward. Push hips forward. Push hips forward. This is level 1. Looking straight up into the ceiling. Hips forward, looking up. That's level 1 camel. It's great. So we're going to start here all together. And then as it gets harder, those who need to stop where they were are going to stay there. And you're going to ride it out. Just like we did earlier with the happy baby. Right? We did little by little, and we got to the full happy baby. But again, if you can't get to the full camel, we can always stop along the way, right? That's the joy, that's the journey. Okay, so here we are, we're enjoying. Next, take your hands behind you, clasp all 10 fingers, stretch back so your shoulder blades come together and down. And then as you look up, hips forward, look up. That's level 2. Breathe. This posture is a lot like bridge pose. Oh wait, it is bridge pose, just from a different vector, a different angle, a different plane, right? Now we're upward, we're not on the ground pushing our hips forward. We're up on our knees and we're pushing our hips forward. So it's different, but it's the same. So now you can feel it more into your heart as you back bend, right? For some of you, you're going to back off and you're going to come back into the first position and play with your elbows and maybe come back into the arm thing. For everyone else, though, we're going to reach down at those heels. That's why we were going side to side at the beginning. I want to show you that the feeling is you don't need to grab with your whole hands. You can just grab with your fingertips. Just grab one heel, then the other heel, and then you'll look. Now it's really starting to look like bridge pose. right? So not hips back here, hips forward. So far forward that you almost want to fall forward. But notice my hands keep me from going that too far. If I let go, whoa, right? So I want to hold on to those heels and push forward and look up. And now you're in full camel. Notice you want to drop the head back, feel free, right? Find that breath, nice and strong. Keep firing those glutes forward as you drop back, creating more and more arch. This is the largest back bend you can get in yoga. Whoa. Breathing here, feeling here. One more minute. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And we're not going to Brahmari there. We're going to come up. And we're going to end up in a kneeling position. And now we're going to Brahmari. Deep breath in. Beautiful, right? The feeling is awesome. With the bolster there in front of you, right, just literally lift your hips and come into a forward fold. If you can't see, my hands are actually on the bolster, but of course I don't need a bolster. I can go right to the floor. But again, the bolster's nice, right? It allows you to bend those elbows. Look at the difference. Look at that lumbar spine starting to bend, right? Fold, or actually go in the opposite direction. Feeling the different weight from the heels into the toes, right? You notice me rocking forward and back. That's because I'm feeling, relaxing the head, shoulders. Some people like to hold on to their elbows and just let everything dangle. I do that with my hands on the ground. Same thing. Take a deep breath in and side out. This is our final posture. All right, this is going to really help relax us for our Shavasana. Remember, things you can do to deepen, as we talk about in core, really suck as you exhale. And then you lift, ice cream scoop, Udaya Bandha, right? Let everything from the upper body drop down. Let the legs power up. Upper body, down. Legs, power up. One more minute to go. Feel, feel, feel. Love, love, love. This is self-care. This is self-healing. This is self-love. This is health and wellness. This is yoga. This is your Thursday night practice. Good, and one Brahmari to clear, deep breath in. Awesome. Transition through to squat. And then lie all the way back onto the ground. 5-pointed star, full Shavasana. Right, you can place the bolster underneath your knees. If you don't need it, let it go, let it flow. If there's any lower back pain, just put the soles of the feet onto the floor. That'll flatten out your back. But just lying out, 5-pointed star. And just take this time to settle fully into the posture, right? And that's the joy of your Shavasana. It's your integration time, right? What are we integrating? The practice, right? What did the practice consist of, right? We started with the hips. We brought them up in bridge, right? Then we put them back down on the ground, opened up the legs. Happy baby. Then we did some twisting, right, to send that energy up to the heart. Came up, cobbler, nice and deep, right away into dragonfly. Little side to side from the dragonfly. Then we did toe stretch, ankle stretch, worked our way into squat. Notice squat, another variation of a happy baby. And then finally into what we were working on this whole time, which was a camel, right? And that camel is such a beautiful heart opener. It was one of my least favorite yoga postures when I started yoga, and still to today, after doing it, as much as I enjoy it, the feeling, right, of that posture, now that it's over with, sends so much bliss and joy and happiness your way, right? You just feel that there is an accomplishment. It's a very powerful posture because it allows us to be very vulnerable with ourselves, and we don't have to go for the deepest back bend. But it's amazing to experience now in your Shavasana the entire integration of this practice, because the camel, was the bridge pose at the beginning. And so we worked our way, and then we released that camel with a forward fold, and now we're lying out, and now everything has, worked its way into every cell, every organ, right? Every muscle, every ligament, every tendon, every thought, every feeling, right? We want to imbue it with all of it. We want to succumb. We want to surrender. We want to yin. And how do we do that? Let go of the wanting and just be yin. It's within you. It's around you. It's just a consciousness that you can shift your conscious mind through your conscious movements, your conscious body into. Good. Taking a deep breath in. Full exhale. Rock your head side to side. Twinkle your toes, your fingertips. Slowly get online. And when you're ready, roll onto left or right side, helping hands. Let's come up. Let's use our helping hands into healing hands. And let's start to create good energy, right? What does that mean? For a lot of you, we've talked about it each and every class, right? The power of these haptics, right? Of bringing your hands together. If you have something in your mind that is frustrating you, you close your eyes and you go like this. What's going to win? The thought or the feeling? What happens if it was a feeling? You're feeling something and you do this. What's going to win? The feeling or this? This will take over. Because if it doesn't, this will stop and that will take over. So with your intention to heal, with your intention to love, with your intention to overcome, with your intention to yin, right, all these things, it doesn't matter what is there, pain, displeasure, dis-ease, we can heal it. And healing it just might mean about accepting the inevitable. But as long as we're accepting the inevitable, we're all going to enjoy each and every moment rather than waste it. We only have so much moments together. And so the beauty is to be awake to our waking and alive to our living. Good. Let's bring that energy up overhead, back down over the heart, and just relax. Let that energy just flow through your hands. Feel the haptics. Feel that sensory information of the wind, the light, of the air around you, right? Of the space between your knuckles, the energy between your fingertips. And where's the origin of that energy, right? Hips, heart, head. It's all flowing from the center out to the periphery. And now let's bring it back into the center with our intention, with our Om, right? If we don't Om, remember, Om is just external Brahmari, right? So you can always Brahmari, but the Om is the full expression, right? It's the full experience of the medicine, of the magic, of the moment. So all together, deep breath in, slowly bring the palms together as we Om. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. In your hearts, in your lives, in everything that you see, are, and be. The light in me shares and sees the light in you. In love, with love, through love. Thank you everyone for being here today and practicing with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength, and all your soul. Namaste. Yay!
Thank you.
Great Mary, great Ellie, great Indra, great Jamie, great, awesome.